conference, I now have the great pleasure of introducing our international guest speaker, Mehmet Bozgeyik. Mehmet has been president of KESK, the Turkish Public Service Trade Union Federation, since 2017 and was re-elected in 2021. Mehmet became a teacher and started his involvement in the trade union movement in 1990. He has served as a workplace rep, branch executive, and then the president of the local branch between 1992 and 2008. He was elected as the General Secretary of Eğitim Sen, the Education and Science Workers Union in Turkey, in 2008 and served until 2014. Conference, as you've already heard with regard to Gonul, being a trade unionist in Turkey can be dangerous and takes courage. Mehmet continues to face numerous administrative charges and judicial harassment for his trade union activities. I want to make it absolutely clear that if Mehmet faces any threat from the Turkish authorities as a result of his speech here today, we will take up his case and campaign in solidarity with our comrades in KESK. To use a colloquialism, we've got your back. Mehmet will be speaking in Turkish and his colleague Osman will interpret for him. Conference, please give Mehmet a very warm welcome. Cheers.
Biraz bekleyelim hocam.
Good morning konferans, Rojbaş, Ehlem, Sabalkayır, hepinizi saygıyla KESK adına selamlıyorum. Sevgili yoldaşlar, değerli mücadele arkadaşlarım.
Good morning colleagues, good morning conference, dear comrades from the Unison. I would like to extend you all my greetings to you all on behalf of my confederation KESK.
KESK olarak Unison'a daveti için tekrardan teşekkür ediyoruz. 6 yıl sonra yeniden sizlerle beraberiz. Bu beraber olmadan dolayı mutluluğumuzu ifade ediyorum.
I would like to thank you for the kind invitation because it has been 6 years that we are able to travel for the first time to abroad. We were under travel ban.
Öncelikle Covid-19 sürecinde hem İngiltere'de, dünyada ve ülkemizde yaşamını yitiren başta sağlık emekçileri olmak üzere tüm kamu çalışanlarını, işçileri, yurttaşlarımızı saygıyla anıyorum.
Let me begin with commemorating those who lost their lives during the COVID-19 while providing services to the community, while working in the frontline workers, and while they were receiving this treatment, and I would like to commemorate them all.
Pol Başkan'ın da ifade ettiği gibi KESK olarak Türkiye'de uzun süre sendikal hak ihlalleriyle, baskılarla karşı karşıyayız.
As our dear colleague Paul, the president, stated, KESK has been under pressure for a long period.
2012 yılında bizler de bugün tutuklu olan SES eş genel başkanı Gönül Erden arkadaş gibi gözaltına aldık, tutuklandık.
As we are organizing this solidarity action for our dear sister Gönül, we were held in prison for 1 year in 2012.
Osman arkadaşla birlikte 10 ay biz de cezaevinde kaldık.
We were in the same cell, in the same prison for almost 10 months.
Tek mücadelemiz sendikal mücadele, barış ve demokrasi mücadelesiydi.
And you may ask why you were in prison. It was quite clear. We demanded trade union rights, trade union freedoms, and peace and democracy in our country.
Emekçilerin hak mücadelesini yürüttüğümüz için, muhalif olduğumuz için tutuklandık, cezaevlerine atıldık.
We were sent to prison just because we were struggling, and we are still struggling for the rights of the peoples in the country, for the rights of the trade unions.
Bizim de 10 ay tutuklu kaldıktan sonra özgürlüğümüze kavuşmamızın bir nedeni de hem Unison'un hem dünyadaki emekçilerin bizimle yürütmüş olduğu dayanışma olduğunu inanıyoruz ve bunu geliştirmek istiyoruz.
Needless to say that we were released from the prison mainly because of the solidarity actions from the international labor movement, international trade union movement, including the UNICEF's colleagues. Thanks again for this solidarity.
Bugün Türkiye'de Kürtler, Aleviler, Ermeniler, Süryaniler, Ezidiler, Romanlar, kadınlar yani tüm ezilen halklar ve toplumsal muhalif kesimler terörize edilerek baskı altına alınmaya çalışıyorlar.
Unfortunately, it is not the trade unionists only, but all the communities, all the democratic and oppositional forces, namely the Kurds, Alevis, Armenians, Assyrians, and Yazidis and Roma people are suffering a lot from the government's repressive policies and practices.
Dün yine gece 16 muhalif gazeteci tutuklandı.
And we are being terrorized for our activities. Just last night, 16 journalists who are oppositional journalists were sent to prison.
Tüm dünyada olduğu gibi ülkemizde de toplum yoksullukla cezalandırılırken yargı, medya, akademi, sağlık, eğitim, kültür, sanat alanları enkaza dönüşmüş durumda.
Unfortunately, poverty is not a choice. It is imposed on us and it is used as a tool to punish those who are not standing in line with the government's policies. There is a pressure on the judiciary, on media, academy, health officers, economy, education, culture, and health. I can firmly say that all these sectors unfortunately failed in Turkey.
Bunun nedeni ise tüm dünyada olduğu gibi ülkemizde de giderek artan özelleştirme, taşeronlaştırma ve neoliberal politikaların sonucu olduğunu biliyoruz.
And we are clear that these failures is a result of the neoliberal policies, privatization and subcontracting, outsourcing of the public services in Turkey, as in the case of many other countries in the world.
Yine dün Sayın Genel Sekreter Kristina'nın da ifade ettiği gibi yoksulluk bir tercih değildir. Zenginlerin iktidarda olanların uyguladığı politikaların bir sonucudur.
As our dear General Secretary Christina very rightly underlined yesterday, poverty is not a choice. It is a decision, it is a result of the rulers' decision, those who are occupying the power.
Sevgili yoldaşlar, bildiğiniz gibi ülkemizde barış isteyen, üniversitede çalışan akademisyenler üniversitelerden uzaklaştırıldı. Yine kanun hükmünde kararnamelerle birçok kesim işten çıkartılarak sivil ölüme mahkum edildi.
During the state of emergency, which was a response to the military coup in July 2016, the government issued emergency decrees and dismissed public officers from the public sector, including the academics and all other colleagues from different sectors.
Bizler de 15 Temmuz darbe girişiminden sonra ilan edilen OHAL sürecinde işimizden çıkartıldık. Bugün Türkiye'de 4600 KESK üyesi hukuksuz bir şekilde işten çıkartılmış. Adalet mücadelemiz, hukuk mücadelemiz sizlerle birlikte dayanışmayla hala devam ediyor.
I'm sure it is not surprising for you to hear that we were also dismissed from the public sector for being a trade unionist, for carrying out all these trade union activities, legitimate and ordinary trade union activities. And we are not alone in our confederation because in total 4,600 KESK members were permanently dismissed from the public sector. But we still continue to struggle. We still continue to struggle because of our strength, because of the solidarity that you have been showing with us since the very beginning.
Yine yerel yönetimlere, belediyelere, bildiğiniz gibi Boğaziçi gibi üniversitelere başta olmak üzere birçok kurumda seçilmişlerin yerine kayyumlar atanarak halkın seçme ve seçilme hakkı gasp edildi.
And also another problem that affects our field, our rights and freedoms is the appointment of trustees. That means government appoint an a governor or a district governor to a municipality won by an oppositional party, mainly this is the HDP, People's Democratic Party. And it's the same for the universities. Sometimes the Ministry of Education appoints a rector who has not been elected by the academics in that university.
Yine ülkemizde son dönemde giderek artan cinsiyet ve cinsel yönelim ayrımcılığı, kadınlara, çocuklara, LGBTİ artılara yönelik şiddet her geçen gün artarak devam ediyor.
There is also an increase, unfortunately, an increase in domestic violence, violence against women, discrimination as regards to the LGBTIQ individuals in the country. That means if you have a different sexual orientation or different sexual identity, then you are being discriminated.
Böyle bir dönemde AKP hükümetinin İstanbul Sözleşmesi'nin kaldırılması yaşanan bu cinayetlere meşrutiyet zeminini güçlendirmektedir.
Despite the increasing femicide cases, the government of Turkey has withdrawn from the Istanbul Convention, which is the key document for prevention of domestic violence at the international level.
Ancak tüm bunlara rağmen kadınların barış mücadelesi toplumda radikal değişimleri hedefleyecek, savaş ve çatışmada ısrar eden tarafların geniş kitleler karşısında maskelerini düşürecek kadar cesaretlidir.
But as you may know, Turkey has a very strong women's movement. Unfortunately, we are here today. Our co-president, Şükran Kaplan Yeşil, is unable to travel because of the visa issues, but we have a very strong women's struggle in the country, and we are fully sure that they will win. When they will win, we will win as well. I mean, we as the men and male.
Gönül arkadaş gibi KESK'li kadınların özgürlük serüveni kapitalizme, militarizme, ırkçılığa, milliyetçiliğe, cinsiyetçiliğe karşı duran bir noktadadır.
KESK women members and leaders say no, including of course and particularly Gönül from SES, say no to capitalism, militarism, racism, nationalism, and sexism. And we are saying no to all these repressive and oppressive policies and practices.
Bizim için, Türkiye'de ezilen halklar için, kadınlar için demokrasi ve barış, ekmek ve su kadar önemlidir.
One thing is clear for us. For us, democracy and peace are equal to bread and water. This is the key principle of our struggle.
Türkiye'de verilen mücadelenin dünya genelinde yürütülen özgürlük, eşitlik, kadın ve ekoloji mücadeleleriyle deneyim paylaşmasını önemsiyoruz.
And we know that we are not alone in this struggle. Therefore, it is very important to share our experiences with us, and it is important to exchange views with other colleagues and comrades from different parts of the world.
Bu nedenle UNISON üyeleriyle İngiltere'de, Galler'de, İskoçya'da dayanışmayı ve mücadeleyi büyütmek istiyoruz.
Therefore, we would like to increase our efforts, enhance our efforts to have more cooperation, collaboration, to act with you more in England, in Wales, in Scotland, in north of Ireland.
Tüm bu yaşadıklarımıza rağmen dünyada ve ülkemizde yeni bir toplumsal yaşamın mümkün olduğunu ifade ediyoruz.
We are determined and we know that despite all this pressure, it is still possible to build a new society, a new order.
Değerli yoldaşlar, haklarımızı ortadan kaldıracak otoriter, dinsel referanslara dayalı yönetimlere karşı çoğulcu, demokratik, layık, özgür, ekolojik bir yaşam için hep birlikte mücadele etmeliyiz.
Dear comrades and dear colleagues, we must struggle more to build a society based on pluralism, democracy, peace, rule of law, human rights, and trade union rights. Because there is an attempt to take all our rights that we have gained and achieved in the past because of through these policies, that is authoritarian policies, there are religious references, and also there are oppressive and repressive practices.
Değerli yoldaşlar, değerli mücadele arkadaşlarım, Ülkemizde başka bir sorun da cezaevlerinde çok ağır koşullarda tutulan, başta hasta tutsaklar olmak üzere gönül arkadaşın da içerisinde olduğu siyasi tutsakların özgürleştirilmesi, bugüne dek verilen siyasi mahkumiyet kararlarının sonuçlarıyla birlikte ortadan kaldırılması için mücadele ediyoruz.
Dear colleagues, dear comrades, we have Gönül in prison, we have some other colleagues in prison, and there are some other political prisoners in prison. Unfortunately, some of them suffer a lot from some health problems. So it is important to pay attention to the situation of these seriously ill prisoners, and it is also important to keep in our mind that there is no right to a fair trial. That means our colleagues are in prison for ungrounded reasons. They must be released now.
Yine dünyanın her yerinde giderek artan milliyetçiliğe, yabancı düşmanlığına karşı hep birlikte mücadele etmeliyiz.
Once again, we must struggle. We must struggle against nationalism, racism, xenophobia, which are increasing trends not only in Turkey but in all over the world.
Kendimizi ve tüm insanlığı kapitalist hegemonyanın etki alanından çıkarmak için berrak bir zihinle düşünmeye ihtiyacımız var.
We must be clear and we must be determined to move away from the capitalist hegemony so that we can build a better society for everyone.
Dün, bugün ve gelecek zaman diyalektiği üzerinden yerel ve evrensel tüm devrimci, direnişçi mirası sahiplenerek emeğin alternatif bir toplumsallık yaratma gücünü yeni bir özgürlük ve yaşam felsefesi bağlamında yeniden kurmak için siz milyonlarca Unison üyesiyle dayanışmayı güçlendirmeliyiz.
So it is time to struggle together because we should keep in our mind in this struggle that what we have achieved in the past, what we are achieving today, and what we will achieve in the future. In this sense, we must stick to truth, which is truth and which is good for everyone. This is the only way. And in this sense, we are ready to act with you more, with your millions of Unison colleagues, and we are ready to struggle with you more.
Türkiye'de, Kolombiya'da, yine birçok ülkede sendikacılar üzerindeki baskıları, hak ihlallerini takip etmenizi çok önemsiyoruz.
So it is very important and you are following very closely the pressure on trade unionists in Turkey, in Colombia, in Ukraine and several other countries.
Yine 4 Temmuz'da gönül arkadaşın duruşmasına Kristina'nın katılması bizler açısından çok önemli.
It is extremely important and Christina will be with us on 4th of July when Gönül will appear at court again.
O açıdan yüz binlerce KESK üyesi adına hepinizi tekrar yoldaşça selamlıyorum. Yaşasın Unison, yaşasın KESK, yaşasın dayanışma.
So I would like to extend my greetings to you all on behalf of my confederation KESK, on behalf of the whole KESK family. Long live KESK, long live Unison, long live Solidarity. Yavaştan yürüyebiliriz. Yürüyelim.
Right, delegates, we're just presenting a gift to our guests. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, conference. I always find it very moving, the international speakers that we have. Reminds us that we live in one world and that the xenophobes might think that we don't. But, you know, I always find it ironic that international newspaper owners who live in Monaco tell people in England how xenophobic they need to be. And if anybody thinks this issue isn't close to home, they ought to ask Des Warren and Ricky Tomlinson how near to home it is.